It has been over 2,000 years since China's first reunification by first emperor Qin Shi Huang, and also it witnessed the dynasties of Han, Tang, Song, and the Great Empire by Genghis Khan, totally 21 dynasties with Mandarin Qing's demise and the establishment of Republic of China. After the surrender of Japan and the defeat of the nationalist government in the Civil War, and founded a new People's China. With ups and downs, the several decades of the endeavors, China has played the key roles in current world affairs. After American independence in 1776, the 13 colonies developed and expanded from the East Coast to the West Coast. Except its civil war in 1861 to 1865. It had never stopped its economic increase. And by First World War and the Second World War, America had accumulated and achieved great success as a hegemon. With over-expansion, it has also realized its power boundaries. Initially, when China and America encountered for the first time, China had been a great power in the East for a long history. And America was still brand new. Yet fate is fickle and every dog has its day. China experienced a century of miseries and humiliations. And America kept steady first and becoming a big power. From the changes in Sino-U.S. national power, then we retrieve the vicissitudes of the big powers in history. The earliest civilization of human being most likely originated from the Egypt nearby the Nile River, and the pyramids finished over 5,000 years ago today still probably stand there. And China, as one of the four Asian civilizations, was not fully cultivated at that time. The ancient Babylon at the two great rivers and appeared the script of cuneiform and the code of Hammurabi. The Dravidian people in early India were subdued by the new immigrants of Iran. Yet its caste system is still available today. The Assyrian Empire had wars around, and its capital Nineveh, and created great civilization, which are also lost in history. Persian Empire rose from the Iranian plateau, and also moved westward across the Asian Minor. Stopped at Marathon. The ancient Greece in Aegean Sea, they established a strong empire on the sea. And with its city-states at Athens and the warriors of Sparta, still are lyric and a legend today. In Macedonia, north of Greece, Alexander the Great was born, and he controlled the Athens and conquered the Persia, approached India and Asian China. And his empire covered Europe, Asia, and North Africa, and also very soon divided after his early death at the age of 33. The rose of Roman Empire, which came to be the eternal classic at the summit of the Western civilization. And with the coming of the Arab Empire, Islam turned to be one of the world's the three major religions. The Mongol Empire rose up and invaded around, though it faded today. And the descendants of Han's Turkey got stronger in West Asia, and it changed the name of Constantinople, the capital of the East Rome, and as its temple. With the age of great exploration and discovery of our American continent, a new round of colonization by European power came. First, the Spanish, to whom the Columbus devoted to occupied the West Indies in Caribbean Sea, Mexico, and North America. In South America, it wiped off the empires of Maya, Inca, and Aztec. And in Asia, it took over Philippines and rested with Holland for China's Taiwan. Portuguese took over Amazon and Brazil, and also China's Macau. Holland established colonies in North America and controlled Indonesia and Malaysia. Asia and a garrison at Taiwan. These countries above focused on foreign trade with loot more than their build-up. So failed in effective management and control, so we call it our ocean colonial system. The following British established some colonies in North America and in Africa, and also sold black slaves to American plantations. With its industrial revolution and increased national power, it took over India, Burma, Afghanistan, Hong Kong, Australia, and New Zealand, and became the largest colonial empire since. As its long-time rival, France, caught up with it and colonized in North America, North Africa, and Vietnam, and became our massive colonial empire next to Britain. During their conquering colonies, they brought their own domestic laws and rules, tried for better and longer management, which was called continental colonial system. Russia is characterized with chauvinism and expansionism, originally from Kypros and developed from the Grand Duchy of Moscow. It invaded Iran after a decline of the Mongol Empire, partitioned Poland for 3 times, and controlled the Baltic Sea, Caucasus, and the Black Sea, and enroached Iran and crossed the Siberia eastward to Alaska. It took large areas from China and incited Mongolia independent. And after several centuries of invasions and grabbing, Russia and became the largest country in the world. Germany in Central Europe had hundreds of feudal city-states in history. It reunified under Bismarck, and William I finished his coronation as emperor at the Mirror Hall in Versailles. For grabbing more colonies and world hegemony with Britain, France, and Russia, it engaged 2 world wars, and Hitler's Nazi Germany almost took over the whole Europe. Japan had been an isolated country that ruled by shogun, and its doors was opened by American General Perry in 1853. And after Meiji Restoration in 1868, Japan engaged in military jingoism and foreign wars. It took over Korea, Taiwan, and Manchuria, and invaded China, and occupied Southeast Asia until it surrendered after the Second World War. America was called the arsenal for anti-fascism democracies in the Second World War, and it became the leader of the Western world and one of the world global hegemons. And it once obtained 70% of the world gold reserve and half of the world GDP after Second World War. In Second World War, China and America were allies against Japan. In Korean War, they became enemies in the battlefield. And after the breakup of Sino-U.S. and China and America worked together in dealing with the Soviets. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, America came to be the sole superpower, yet very soon it ran into the 9/11 terrorist attack, and the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, a financial crisis in 2008, global pandemic 2020, which made it a tough time for America and a huge deficit. Until now, it reached the 30.4 trillion US dollars, far above the 23 trillion US dollars annual GDP. With each family share the burden of 260,000 US dollars and every American with 100,000 US dollars debt. Since 2012, China overtook Japan and became the second largest economy in the world. And with the economy and the military rapid growth, yet the 3-year-long pandemic also impeded China's development, with the real estate and stock market and employment greatly hurt. How to keep it increase steadily and continuously and improve the national comprehensive power is one of its first priorities. The power comparison among nations like the stock market always with fluctuations. In a natural selection, survives the fittest. The evolution in nature also works in a society. So many great wonders are gone with the wind. History is full of great changes with big powers rising and decline suddenly. On the stage of warfare, different roles and wrestles are always there, obviously or unnoticed. A policymaker, leader, or ruler should be more cautious about how to usher the country. From the power chain in Sino-U.S. relations, we review the ups and downs of the big powers in history. In Chinese poet's beautiful word, it looks like the tremendous leaves fallen from the forest, and the great waves in Yangtze River moving forward on and on. We should conform to future development and keep the nations full of vigor and renovation. This is the topic of today. Thank you for your joining in and see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.